Where is that? Sura? That's Sura. Good grief. 60-44. One hook. Dang. Potatoes. Hubble. Potatoes. If potatoes aren't working, probably need to find a new spot. What's up, Justin Plays? Full baked, how you doing? It's noon in game, huh? Oh. Sir Bistro, what's up? Welcome back. What's up, Dynamic? I've been doing good. Just got some sleep and ran some errands and took care of some work stuff. And now I've got a little bit of time, hopefully a few hours here before work starts again. That's awesome. Second largest salmon of the week. Helikai, nice job. Did you mean to catch a pike, Angelic Grim? Were you going for the pike? So for all you early folks, I'll go ahead and say this now, and towards the end of the stream, I'll probably say it again. Just as a channel announcement. I'm going out of town Friday. So Thursday we'll get our regular Thursday stream in, at least planning on it. But Friday I do go out of town, and we'll be back the following Thursday night really late. So almost a full week there of this is our last sort of summer trip, and after that I'll be back to sort of normal week-to-week schedules. But just to let everybody know, if you don't see me around for a few days, that's what's up. Brown trout. That's a very doable brown trout order, although it's about halfway through. You could get lucky on the tow guns. Sophie, what's up? I mean early folks to the stream. People that got here right before I even hardly got started. Nice clean fish, welcome to the stream. I'll be call me Teleton from now on, because I can't remember RF4 names versus Twitch names. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Okay, so I think we're going to start off with some trolling. I kind of want to look around, see where the hot spots are today on the VK, but what I think this stream will lead to is hopefully my first return to Amber. I just haven't been there in so long. All right, let's check the volume here. We want this really low because I am actually trolling, not drifting. Kind of got my favorite little spots here to troll with the spinner baits on. So when I first log in, I get these flickering black screens. Some of you've probably noticed them as well. But once I'm in the game for a little bit, they seem to go away. It's a bit odd. I did have a graphics driver update, which I had heard that for people who hadn't updated their drivers, that was causing some bugs, some graphical bugs, but apparently that's not one of them. because that is still happening at this point. And we're going to start off with what I was trying to do last night, but I ended up just pretty much having to work all night last night. If y'all were around, you may have seen me, like, I would get on for a few minutes thinking I was going to get to fish, and then boom, I was gone again. That pretty much happened, like, the whole overnight hours last night. So let's see how it feels today. Usually they're, like, popping off on these spinner baits, but you do have to sort of wade through. That's going to be one of those smelts. You do have to wade through some non-markers, at least from what I've seen. I was thinking earlier, like, I wonder if with these little spikers, if there's anything we could do with the hook size, just like a slight change that might increase the size just a teeny bit. I don't know. What's up, Grumpy? Welcome to the stream. You like my vids? Oh, thank you. I know. So last time I went out of town, I had done a really good job of, well, I say a good job. I had done a job of pre-recording some videos to release while I was gone. But with the new river and with how busy work's been, I just don't think that's going to happen this time. So I'm kind of sad I'm not going to have any content coming out for a few days, even on the YouTube side, but I guess it was inevitable that we were going to have some post-patch complaining about not getting any bites. Again, I didn't get to fish a lot last night but it seemed to me that, not that things hadn't changed at all, maybe they had changed some, but at least here and at Mosquito, it seemed like things were still fine. But that was a pretty small sample size, to be fair. I didn't get to fish that much. I like these amools. Last bream video was before the patch yesterday. Oh, that's good. I'm glad that Volkov has been good. Let's see. So can you tell me what we wanted to discuss last night? What did we want to discuss last night? Are you talking about what you were messaging me about? What do you mean? You're getting a lot more grass and black carp since the reset in Old Berg. You know, it's hard to know, Dean, if that has anything to do with the update or not. Because remember, a lot of times after a full reset like we had when Tunguska came out, a lot of times it takes a couple days for everything to sort of settle. And at least it appears as though fish activity can be a little slow just initially after a huge update like that. And then sort of hour by hour and certainly day by day, it appears as though things start getting pretty nice again. So, I don't know. And I'm not sure like how the programming works. You know, a lot of this, I think, my understanding, a lot of this is automated. So it's not like people are going in there like pushing buttons. At least it's my understanding of being like, okay, I want fish to be here or fish to not be there. But it's like programs that are randomizing stuff and sort of slowly changing stuff over time. I mean, this is basically why we're doing this, is to try to catch as many markers of fish like this as we can. You can do this with pretty light gear with the spinner baits. You may occasionally hit something nasty, but it's a decent XP and silver grind. And it's just a lot of fun because there's so many species. The difference of low bait casting reels and normal ones, and when to use light hooks. What do you mean by light hooks, by the way? I just released a marker brown trout. I gotta slow down. I'm like talking and fishing at the same time and making mistakes. Interesting, Dean. Oh, that's very nice, Sophie. There's another Amul. So you're first of all, you're asking the difference in low profile bait casting reels and the regular bait casting reels. I'm going to assume that's what you mean. And it's, for the most part, it's a matter of strength. I mean, they're a different style, obviously. The low profile bait casting reels like this here that I'm using, I mean, you know, what I'm familiar with these, in fact, in the US, if someone talks about a bait casting reel, that's probably what they mean. Because that's what's really popular here. Like the more expensive, nice reels are what we call in this game low profile bait casting reels. And that's what you might use for bass fishing. I mean, all different types of fishing. But in this game, the classic bait casting reels are a lot stronger and tend to be reels like this steelhead where you can get a lot more strength out of them, right? So it's a different style. It looks different. You typically have a much larger spool and you typically have a stronger reel. And so what, at least before the price change, what a lot of people's experience with bait casting was once they got to Corey and were anticipating fishing for Atlantic salmon and stuff like that at Volkov, you start saving and upgrade to something like a steelhead or a classic bait casting reel because you need that extra strength and spool, right? Where with the low profile stuff, that's more, the low profile bait casting is more stuff you're going to use on light, sometimes even ultra light or light medium size bait casting rods to go for more small to medium sized fish. Your power went out, Dynamic. So at least practically speaking, in my mind, that's kind of the difference. It's a matter of strength and what you're targeting. The reason why some of the low profile bait casting reels can get really expensive is because some of them can be paired really nicely and you can get a lot of power out of a ultralight or light setup. And for that sort of category or size range of fish, you can create a pretty powerful little, you know, light setup that you can really aggressively go after stuff like these brown trout and that kind of stuff. But that's just the bait casting categories. Like the Proton 6000 obviously is a spinning reel. Is the first bait casting reel. To me, I think, well, it's personal preference at the end of the day. I don't think you should feel any need to switch to low profile bait casting reels at all, to be honest with you. At least not till you're much higher level. I mean, we were talking about this in chat last night. The whole ultralight thing and getting those really nice, expensive ultralight setups, unless you just really know that you want that to be your focus, then you probably don't want to spend that much of your resources, that much silver and time on trying to get a UL setup together until you're a higher level. Because that could sort of thwart your progression if you're trying to build up towards mid and in-game gear to try to go for carp fishing or even the like regular bait casting reels. I don't know, to me the ultralight stuff has always been a luxury item. I mean, you don't need that 100% XP when you're lower level, you know? You don't need to worry about like weeklies on the UL weekly board and stuff. You can get a really nice light setup and spend less silver. Absolutely. I love my steelheads for trolling as well. So you can see what your rod is if you just go to power right here. Yep, that's right, Sophie. kind of going through the 16-meter hole as well. Because I kept getting interrupted last night, I never really got down this far too often, so I'm not sure if this will be as good, but this whole range in here, 7.5 to 12, like this just feels like that's full of the type of fish we're going for. Just killing you, thanks for the follow. So this rod is heavy. Sorry, action. Wait, guys, what are we looking for? Action or power? I'll look at my ultralight thing. I've gotten myself confused now. All right, so the ultralight setup that I use is the Cardina casting rod, and it's power. Ultralight is power. So that's what you're looking at for the rating of it. And see, I have a different low profile, the Ice Bolt. I also have the T-Tech. Either one of these are really nice low profile for this setup. Like it matches up really well. I say it matches up really well. I honestly should have about 5 to 5.5 kilo line on here. I'm way too close to the load capacity on the rod. But sometimes with ultralight, you're playing games like that, right? Like you're bending some of the rules a little bit. It's not the ideal setup there. But it works. The leader kind of keeps me in the safe area, but it's still a little dangerous. But this is a light rod and reel. Much safer load capacity between rod and reel. Get a little more power out of it, but it still is light. It's still very fun to target. You know, brown trout, char, many of the fish here in the New River, grayling, chub. I mean, that kind of stuff. This is a perfect little reel to target that stuff. And when I say char, I mean like regular char, not like your Cory char and Arctics and stuff like that. Feels a little slower down here than it did in the 12 and 7.5. I don't know. Well, now we're getting some bites. I need to start turning this boat around. Grayling. And then at night we'll do a little jigging for catfish. See if we can find some catfish. Welcome back, Sophie. So yesterday, I kind of stayed logged into the game like for hours and hours while I was working and doing other stuff because I spent several thousand silver in repairs to 4 different carp rods and a couple of reels. I didn't do all the repairs that I could have done, but especially the rods, like I don't think I had ever repaired any of my carp rods. And one of them took like, I don't know, 7 in-game days or something. I think it was this one. No, that's the newest one I've gotten. This is the one that I've had for a while. Yeah, I had to do the line guides. I was waiting on that thing forever. But the exciting thing is, from that Fish of the Week competition, we got our new Megara. So now for carp fishing, we're going to be going Megara, Megara, Tagara. One day I'd like to get a second Tagara, and so then it would be Tagara, Tagara, Megara. But I have now retired the Vinga to, at least for now, to like sturgeon fishing only. And I don't do a lot of that anyway, so the Vinga is a little out of commission for the most part at this point. If I end up wanting to go for timing or something like that, I might throw it on a spinning rod. But we want to feel those carp on the Megaras and the Tagara. We don't want to power through them too quickly like we can on the Vingas. Plus the Vinga, honestly, the repairs are pretty expensive. And it reels fairly slowly. I just don't love it for carp. What's up, Magical? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, let's get back into position here. Let's get over the 12-meter hole. I really liked what we were seeing on this 12-meter hole. Yeah, like this. Y'all want to go hardcore? Here we are, hardcore. We'll reel this fish in. Hardcore style. Is that another Arctic? Of course it is. I really think we're going to have to do a hardcore leveling series at some point. One thing I just can't figure out, like, one thing that's hard about hardcore is you don't know where your friction brake is. So you would have to kind of count, right? Like, before you cast it, you'd have to, like, either go all the way to the top. I guess you'd want to go all the way to the top and then count back 10 or something. And then just remember in your head, like, okay, I'm at 20. I don't know. It's a little weird, right? I wish there was a visual indicator of your friction brake. You just need some sort of visual indicator, I feel like. You should get extra XP for hardcore mode. And I just think, like, I like the idea of it. But we gotta have plenty of visual indicators, like, on the gear itself, I feel like. I mean, you can hear the line getting pulled out or not getting pulled out. You can see the rod bend. I mean, there's things, right? But friction brake is my big concern. What's up, Dragon? What's your question, Dean? Does better percent in a fishing skill, say 6-meter bottom, increase your chance of better fish from that style? No, I don't think so. Not unless you have skill points invested. That's my belief, Dean. I've never had that specific question confirmed by a developer, though, but that's my belief, is that what improves it is where you've put your skill points. And now, if you're a higher percentage, it allows you to use more advanced techniques and more advanced gear, so some of that may impact, but just in terms of that percentage by itself, I do not think so. So I guess we'll troll till we'll probably just troll to the end of the 7.5 meter hole, and then we'll go get in position over the 11 meter hole. I like the 11 meter hole for catfish. And we'll completely change out our gear. I've actually got different rods set up for the most part for our catfish. I'm glad they've got a shortcut now for hardcore, though. You get no, like, audio cue if you have hardcore mode on. You get no audio cue that there's a fish on, right? So, like, by hitting R is what I mean. So, like, if I hit R, nothing. Where if hardcore mode's not on, you get that little red box and the audio cue that you have a fish on. All right, there's pink salmon, but we sure did not catch many of them today. Maybe there would have been more in the morning if we had been trolling earlier. Yeah, I don't know. We're running out of space here. Yeah, we're just calling it hardcore mode. That's right. I mean, it's not... you could do more with hardcore mode. Like, you could have it where the first time you break a rod or reel, your character gets deleted. You could... Hey, that's a nice one. You could... You could do some other stuff for hardcore, but yeah. The way they've decided to implement it for now, at least, is... Which I kind of like. I mean, again, the thing that troubles me is the friction break, but it requires you to really pay attention to visual cues and stuff that we normally don't really have to pay attention to with what the rod tip is doing, you know, how the line looks and that kind of stuff. So it could be cool. I actually think it would probably, in some ways, maybe even increase our skills if we spend a lot of time in quote-unquote hardcore mode because of those things that we would be paying attention to more so. All right, let's go ahead and turn the engine off. Hey, Frank, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. All right. Let me think about this. I think what we move to now is this. And I have this set up. I just have to remember like what all it's set up to. This maybe? Yep. 1, 2, and then I think this has a wacky on it if we want to do that. I guess we can. Okay. Oh, you can ask however many questions you want, Dean. I may not always know the answer, but someone in chat probably will. I want to get a little more centered here on the 11-meter hole before we cut the engine again. All right. Let's get this out at least 10 meters. Here, I'll just set it down for a second. So we're using these quickers, which have been pretty good at targeting the cats and burbot, but we'll see how it goes. And I may just anchor up at some point and do a little spinning, actually casting, we'll see. Boilies or ground bait for carp, which is your preference? Wait. Okay. That totally depends on where you're fishing. At Old Berg or Bear, you will often do better with ground bait because things like potatoes and honey dough and what are some of the other baits that work so well? All the doughs, you know, I mean, things just sort of change over time, but like cornmeal porridge, sometimes oatmeal, all the doughs, but mostly potatoes, and then like cabbage leaf, corn, peas, sometimes algae, but potatoes and cheese are going to be your go-tos at Bear. And so putting ground bait with those just makes sense. If you don't have PVA unlocked, then that's often going to be your better bet at Old Berg and Bear. Now, sometimes at Bear, especially, occasionally Old Berg, but sometimes at Bear, you'll get a spot that really does respond well to the boilies and dip. And so at that point, switching to boilies and dip can be good. You just want to watch how much it slows down the bite rate compared to potatoes or whatever. But once you get to amber, there's no question that you're going to want to use boilies and dip, even before you've gotten PVA unlocked. But it does get better with PVA. Even once you can spod, that will help, but certainly once you can use PVA. Can you check for me if I still have the UL other region for the new char? Sure. I can check that. I have caught 0 of the new char. I just haven't brought myself to going up to that lake yet. So you're number 3 currently? I just want to see one of these days. I'm going to go up there just to get one, you know. I hear it's slow at times, but... what's up, Crisis? Welcome. Mr. Waddell, thank you for the follow. Thanks for being here. You just reached level 20 and 30% on spin fishing. Is it worth you go to Volkov? Depends on your gear. Depends on your gear, Teleton. If you're talking about spin fishing at Volkov, it's very likely that you don't have strong enough gear at level 20. It just depends on like what decisions you've made. Yeah, that was weekly. Yeah, I'm starting out doing this. I'm going to just do some trolling. I wanted to do this yesterday and just work wouldn't allow it. So we're going to spend a couple days or so trolling, and then I really want to go to Amber as well. Yeah. Recently, wobblers obviously have been really strong at Volkov, but there's times when just hunter spoons are awesome there too. Early morning or dusk for them, Hunter 01 or 02. Okay, thank you, Jorge. What's up, Dutch Feast? Hey, Jessica Tim. Glad you could make it to a stream today. Started a little earlier.
Challenge.
Hey, Crisis, thank you so much for the sub. Whoa. What is this? That's not a catfish, by the way. That's a catfish. Dang it. Okay, y'all just witnessed how to totally screw up a big fish. I don't know what I was thinking there. I created so much slack in the line by... I should have just turned the trolling motor on and then picked the rod back up and gotten the slack out. Good grief. Hey, thank you, Crisis. Yeah, it probably was a timing. My only wish with subbing is a bit of Asmir later. Oh, we can arrange that, Crisis. Hey, Worm, thanks for the cheer. Appreciate it. Alright. Let's not do that again. Whatever we just did. Alright, we're good. We're good. Man, that thing was like a bullet. It was flying. Oh, don't worry. I've still got my pecans. I think it was a timing. Had to have been a timing, right, Sophie? I mean, we can pretend like it was a really big, like, what are they called? Nelma or something, but chances are that thing was a timing, especially where we are on the map right now. But I apologize. I mean, that was like total rookie mistake. First of all, if you want to be safe, if you've got a big fish on, don't ever put the rod down. But we needed to start trolling towards it. I didn't want it to, like, I don't know that it would have spooled us, but I didn't want to take that chance, so. Oh yeah, Nelma's great. Nelma's great, but I haven't seen a big one yet. I've only caught like small markers. Those taimen just fight so well. They're really good fighting fish. Even the mid-sized ones can be brutal. They're not like the sturgeon here. I mean, the sturgeon here, they're going to spool you, but they're going to do it really slowly. You know, it's like the most boring spool you've ever had. Taimen are going to spool you in about 3 seconds if you're not ready for them. Did I miss? Sorry, did somebody ask about Angelic Grim? Did you ask about? Oh yes, I've played a good bit of the Fish Your Own Line. It's fun. It's fun. It out of all the other fishing games I've played, as far as the fishing mechanics, to me it's not as good as RF4, but it probably comes the closest. And it doesn't have, you know, the other. I mean, I don't care. I'm just going to say it. Fishing Planet, to me, one of the things that always frustrates me about Fishing Planet is sort of the like spreadsheet fishing feel to it, where it's like, especially 90% of the bodies of water. Some of the later ones have gotten a little better, but most of them, it's like you know exactly what you're going to catch if you use a certain bait or lure at a certain place at a certain time with a certain weather, and so it's just like, I don't know. So it doesn't feel very alive to me at times. But the Fish Your Own Line does a pretty good job with the fishing mechanics. It probably comes closest to RF4. But it is a small development team, and I don't like the inventory. And that's kind of a big deal to me, like the UI and the inventory. And it doesn't have as much of an MMO feel to it, which is one of the things that always has drawn me to RF4 so strongly. But you could do a lot worse in terms of fishing games outside of RF4 than Fish Your Own Line. Hopefully that makes sense. Sorry I missed your question earlier. It's because Crisis, like, you know, distracted me, made me blush a little bit with the sub. Your poor UI. I'm UL, yeah. A very light brown spinning rod. It's a good one because it's good on Quarry, but don't know in Quarry. Wait, what were you saying? Ultimate Fishing Sim is getting a sequel tune. Yeah, but it's so confusing about, like, I don't know if you track the who's developing it, like who's part of the team is from maybe some of the people that were involved in the first game, but a lot of the team are not involved from the first game. It's people that were involved in professional fishing, I think, which is, I don't know. It's very weird. Hopefully this is a really nice catfish, but it's more likely a burbot, I would say, given the size of it. Yeah, Tunguska's still been good. Very good. How you doing, Crimson? Oh, no, Tunguska's still great. I mean, obviously, it's going to vary. I mean, it's going to be times when it won't be as good and times when it'll be great, but that's a nice burbot, by the way. That's only my second trophy here at Tunguska. Or is it my third? Second, I think. Second. So we don't have much time left here. We'll cast a couple times. Is that right, Angelic? Is that right, Crimson? I really want a trophy cat. Did you catch that off a feeder, or were you spin fishing, trolling for it, or something? Oh, the whitefish are awesome. Yeah, one of the really fun parts of Tunguska is the huge, just the variety in what you can go after. All the little graylings, brown trout, the Nelma, the different whitefish. Well, we were going to do a jig step, but then our anchor and boat decided to do the dance. It was off ultralight? Wow. Ultralight wacky or what? I'll check in a minute. Yeah, but it's a lot more than that too, right, Crisis? I mean, it's got a lot more going on than Belaya ever did to me. Gillied, thank you for the follow. Off a spinner? No kidding. Wait, okay, so were you trolling it? I'm just trying to understand. Catfish are at the bottom, you're using a spinner bait. Yeah, I agree with that, Jessica. It's like, I mean, there's a lot of content now with all of the DLC and stuff they came out with over the last couple of years, but for a long time, that felt like a game that you could play in a weekend, basically. Yeah, that's true, Crisis. The very fact that we can get in a boat here is much different. Drifting. Yeah, okay, that I guess that makes sense, Crimson. Oh, nice. All right. The place I've had the most success is like down here in the 17-meter hole, like anchoring down there and then casting from there. Let's get our spinners and stuff back out. We'll get an early start in the morning. Wait, what was I going to look at? Oops. Wait, where are the catfish? Oh. Oh, ultralight, you said, right? Yeah, you're still third. Look at that thing. Spinnerbait 004. At least it's dark. That kind of makes sense, right? Because it was probably at night. Good job, Crimson. I wouldn't go with a UL. I wouldn't go with an ultralight setup for Volkov at all. If you want to do ultralight fishing, you're better off going to Belaya. You're better off, to me, spending your silver on something much heavier than ultralight for Volkov. You were playing the Fisher Online and you ran into a moon? No kidding. Yeah, Moon's a good dude. Alright, this is where we want to start, basically. Yeah, and that would be really expensive for a someone who's just barely high enough level to get to Volkov to try to put a UL together specifically to target ASP. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, but again, it's personal preference. You do what you want to do for sure. Yeah, you don't want to fish for salmon on an ultralight. Again, I haven't looked closely at it since the price changes. But before the price changes, what I would recommend you save for, if you want to do bait casting, is something like the steelhead with something like the Model 1 casting rod. What's up, Dashlore? And if you, yeah, and that's a good advice too, Crimson. If you don't want to go into bait casting, if you want to get reels that you can use both for spin fishing and for your carp fishing, then save up for Tagara. Or, you know, the cheaper version would be to get, like a caliber or something, make that work. You certainly can use Alpha 8000s there. It's not ideal. Some of the big salmon might overpower you, but you can fish at Volkov with Alpha 8000s. That's a nice grayling. Yep, I think I agree with that, Crisis. Sort of the Gold 80, Alpha 8000, Super Duty type combo. That's probably your cheapest, safe, fairly safe setups you could, if you're going the spinning route. Tagaras do fine on Taman. Yeah, I can see that. At the moment, there's no need for... You talking about the heavy conventional reels, Crimson? I assume you're talking about the conventional reels, the new ones. Yes, Hunter Series is great at Volkov. Once you unlock wobblers, you'll have some more options as well. I'm glad your power's back, Dynamic. That was crazy. No, the prices didn't change on all the reels, but it seems like a few of them across the board did get some adjustments. So the Proton Pro, is that what we're talking about? It went down? That's great. So it's even more... All right, Halakai. Hey, thanks for checking in. It's good to see you here. So it's even more of a consideration when looking at the Saber 60s, I guess. Oh, right. Yes, they introduced something else to replace the Pro, right? A completely different reel. It looks really cool. Of course, I haven't tried it yet, but... The regular Proton. Yeah, okay. So they made the regular Proton a little bit cheaper. That is neat, because that's a... I don't know, like, that's a step that's always debatable on, like, should you skip that step? Or should you purchase something there? So maybe that makes it a little bit more desirable. Yes, the Pulsar, exactly. I want to try the Pulsar sometime. What's up, Jessica? I have not. I only have that one. I tried trolling it that first day it came out, but have you figured some stuff out with the rodents? Yes, the Pulsar looks cool. So next time we do a leveling series, that's a nice pellet. Next time we do a leveling series, we're going to have to decide between Saber 60 and the Pulsar, which I'll probably at least try the Pulsar. Is that right? For it to work, do you need to troll like along the sides? Or just in the regular holes, like that big hole up in the top section where the taimen usually bite? What am I doing? We've got 2 fish on here. Regular holes, okay. Night and early morning, interesting. Ooh, this could be a nice grayling. I love it. That's what we want. Just fill our net with graylings. They are really cool. Do we have one of each now or just the one? Yeah, we've got one of each. The East Siberian and the Arctic. That's a pretty nice fish on our light setup. Would have been nice except that it was a roach. I mean perch. I mean Arctic char. Speaking of perch. Yeah, I need to do that. I haven't fished for him yet, Jessica, and I want to at least see him. Yeah, I don't mind the Arctic char. For as active as they are, it does really help with your silver XP average. Yeah, I'm using light setup instead of ultralight, but it's still pretty decent. An eyed. I'm getting a ton of eyed. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that. But that's one thing I've noticed yesterday and today is the number of eyed I'm catching on spinnerbaits is kind of crazy right now. Eyed and Arctic char? Yeah. Oh, for sure, Crimson. I don't get as many Arctic char, to be honest, on the spinnerbaits as I do when I'm using wobblers or spoons. But you still see them some. What's up, Epic? Say for an Alpha 8000 to go to Corey and catch salmon. Do you mean Volkov? The salmon are at Volkov. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff you can catch at Corey, too. And yes, you'll be able to earn some good silver either at Volkov or Corey with an Alpha 8000. Well, I'm glad you're here, Epic. Why won't it... there we go. Trophy salmon. Yeah, I like the Linux a lot. I wish I could catch a decent one. I think the biggest one I've had might have been like 1.5 kilo or something. I don't know if it's better to troll for those or if you actually would do better to actually just like cast the spinnerbaits out. What are they, like short or sharp something linnick? Sharp snouted linnick. Oh, I did get a 3.8. Okay, that's not bad. But that was on a crank. Nice brown. What reel should you go for after the gold 80s? It just kind of depends on how patient you're willing to be. I like carp fishing so much. If it was me, I might be tempted to try to, if I had a set of Alpha 8000s or a couple Alpha 8000s and a caliber or something, I might be tempted to start saving for my first Tagara at that point, to be honest with you. It just depends on how many steps you want to take between where you are and the Tagara. It's kind of the way I would look at it. But again, are you spin fishing a lot? You trolling? Is that what you're wanting to do? Are you wanting to get into carp fishing? Some of that matters for sure. I just haven't tried the Nargas. I don't know. Some people love them, some people don't love them. You don't know yet what you mainly want to do? Well, as you get into the more expensive gear, I just feel like it does become... Putting together a game plan becomes more and more important. Both for where you're spending your silver and also what you're doing with your skill points. And you're kind of getting to that point, it feels like. Fisherman Wade, thanks for the follow. Somebody had your name. Are you sure you didn't already create an account like one late night and just don't remember? Thank you for the follow. Don't make decisions based on whether or not bear is hot or cold today. Does that make sense? Remember, everything is going to change week to week, month to month. So you don't want to make your decisions based on like the flavor of the day. There are times when the best carp fishing in the game might be at Old Berg, you know? And there's times when the best carp fishing in the game is at Bear. Amber for a while now has been pretty consistently great, but there have also been times when if you're just fishing amber, it's a pretty slow going. So, oh, is that right, Grumpy? Yeah, but that's not always the case. Sometimes Arctic chars are popping out at Quarry. Sometimes Savan trout are just crazy active. A lot of times lake trout are active, but that's not always the fish that's coming out actively. Absolutely, I agree with that, Crimson. Is that right, Worm? Ooh, there's another linnick. I love me some Amur cats. Frogs, huh? I do have some frogs. Which spot worm? Like 11-meter hole? Or up at the, on this side? I also hear that, they like leeches. $144.86. That's up here right at the FG connector. G7. Yeah, I hear that leeches will catch the catfish, but I haven't experienced it myself. Oh, is that right, Crimson? That's crazy. Good old Big Drock. Big Drock, Big Worm. Another two of my favorite dudes. I always see those cats up in the 11-meter hole, too. I would think that they would be pretty good up there bottom fishing, but... yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while, Worm. I don't know when, but... oh, that's an interesting place to be, Fisherman Wade. Yeah, I think I like that advice. I think it's worth considering the caliber. You're going to be able to like ease into carp fishing pretty well with the caliber. I'm not sure what level you can use them though. You might want to check that. I think I agree with that. I mean, it's personal preference. I'm not going to judge anybody that buys a Gold 80. I used Gold 80s for a long time. I had a couple of them. But my experience with alphas has made me sort of decide if it was me leveling up for the first time, I would probably get Alpha 8000s over Golds. And I haven't tried the Nargas. I haven't even tried a caliber, but I just hear such good things. You can try it, Angelic Grim. I still, oftentimes, I still like just to go with like an 8 or a 6. But I do think if you don't mind potentially messing with the bite rate a little bit, it seems like large 1 hooks can do pretty well with bream. What giveaway are you talking about? I don't have any like scheduled giveaways or anything. And I tell you what I like to do with giveaways. First of all, they're rare. So the people that are here aren't like expecting giveaways. That's hopefully not why you're here. And then the other things that I like to do with giveaways is I don't want to advertise it. If I'm going to start giving stuff out to people, I want to give it out to people who are here because they want to be here. Not because they're looking for the next giveaway. Does that make sense? But I would say that like giveaways, competitions, that's not what this stream is known for, if that makes sense. So for the longest time you had a gold, an alpha, and a Narga. Oh, that's really cool, Crimson, like to be able to compare those three. What were your thoughts? What's up, Glock? Fishing's been great. I really want to get to Amber tonight. I've been saying that for like last 2 days and just haven't had time. But I also have been wanting to spend some time trolling with spinnerbaits just to kind of catch some of this like wide variety of fish that's available. So that's what I'm doing right now. Whoa. Holy, turn around the boat, Batman. We might be okay. We could probably just turn the trolling motor off here. Come on, be a grayling. Or a linnet. That's what we really want it to be, as a linnet, right? It's probably an Arctic, but it took line for a minute there. Oh, nice. Look at that Nelma. These things are awesome. They are nice fighting fish. I'm not sure what it would be like to catch a 20-kilo Nelma, but I'm guessing that it would be an adventure. Speaking of adventures, trolling this 7.5 to 12 meter hole is always an adventure. What's going to come out next? It is a nice looking fish, I agree, Crisis. Yes, I did go get crayfish. And then Worm sent me some crayfish too, so we had a lot of fun catching those sterlet for a while. But then off stream, when I was working, I spent some time, and it felt like I was catching more and more sturgeon. And I'm just not the hugest fan of sturgeon fishing, so I bet that was a lot of silver for a 17-kilo Nelma Destro. You got a 28-kilo mirror? Yeah, I want to try that. Did you try, like, on any of your setups at 6494, did you try having smaller boilies on to see if that helped with the bite rate? To go with, like, maybe one setup with the big boilies and... Yes. I was catching them off of redworm. Honestly, I don't remember if I used fish pieces or not. Redworm, worm, and there was something else weird. Like algae or something was kind of working. .6712 12-meter clip. I4. Oh, that's where you were catching the black carp. Big boilies, lucky to catch more than 2 fish an hour. Ouch. Potato and cheese on Oldberg. Yeah, just check the weeklies, because it was sort of weird. I think the algae had, like, on VK, someone had caught like a trophy crayfish and a trophy river mussel on algae or something. So I tried it on one line, and it did work. It was just too slow. 24-kilo grass. Gotcha. What's up, Droz? Welcome back. Yeah, we probably want to turn around. Let's do that quickly. Get a little bit more time in. Get into position here before it gets to be like hot time of bite rate again. Oh, I've never thought of that either, Angelic. I don't think so. I haven't heard of people using ground bait to increase the bite rate when spin fishing. I haven't heard of that. I don't know. That would be some next level trickiness there. First of all, I don't know what ground bait would appeal to many of the fish that you're spin fishing for. And then also you've just got the problem of ground bait being in such a specific area and spin fishing typically covering a larger area, you know. But that is a really interesting thought. So I've actually been drifting jigging rigs. For me, I mean, I've tried Texas as well, but for me, the jigging rigs have done just as well as Texas on the cats. Yeah, that's true, Jessica. That is an interesting point. So you cast to a specific place, or you throw ground bait to a specific place to try to attract burbot, and then you jig over that spot over and over. I mean, who knows? Somebody try it and let us know what you think. Fluffy says works for chub on Corey. Really? I-4 is not the boot on Old Bird. Back to what you were saying about the reels. I have 2 alphas and a Narga. I love these brown trout. And I was thinking of doing Bestia instead of the Tagara. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you it's a bad choice. I love my Tagara. I've never tried a Bestia. Somebody... Is there a streamer that has that reel? Somebody does. That I've seen, but I don't have any experience with it myself. Oh, the Nelmas are coming out right now, guys. It's beautiful. Dream used to have one? Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Dean, do you have a like main type of fish that you're going to be going for with these reels? I would not hold out for the Vinga unless your goal is to do like the biggest fish in the game, so like sturgeon and cats and stuff. If that's the case, then yeah, it's probably worth it. But to me, for the price, if you're carp fishing, then I wouldn't hold out for the Vinga. Yeah, carp fishing, I would go Tagara. I love my Megaras, although the consensus out there seems to be that the Megaras are not a very good value for the price compared to something like a Tagara, but I really like my Megaras. But there's no doubt that the Tagara is great. I mean, I've really enjoyed using the Tagara for sure. The user guide for RS4 says when spin fishing, use lighter reels. I'm not sure. Is there a context to that user guide? I mean, are they talking about a specific type of spin fishing or just spin fishing in general? I'm not really sure what that means. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I feel like your reel needs to match the rest of your setup. Some spin fishing, you're going to want heavier stuff. Some of you are going to want lighter stuff. I don't know. Tagaras are level 26. You will be there before you know it. I do like having a variety of reels though, so don't be afraid. Even if like the end goal is a Tagara, you know, if you want to upgrade 1 or 2 reels before then, I think that's fine. just do what's fun, basically. Gather the information, make informed decisions, but at the end of the day, do what's going to be fun for you. Yep. I think that's really fun, Dean. I actually, and this is just personal preference for me, but whenever I'm in a situation where I'm using like 3 of the exact same setups, it's a little bit stale to me. I like some variety. Like I like now when I'm carp fishing, I have 3 different rods that I use. And I used to have 3 different reels. For now, I'm going to have 2 of the same and then 1. I like pulling to the left or the right bails, especially if the hook or the fish pulls it in a certain direction. To sort of carefully pull it up and to the opposite direction seems to work really well for me. Megmer, the difference is there is a loop in the line where the feeder cage or weight is able to move a little bit. So it's literally has a little loop in it. It shows you the diagram if you look at when you go to change the rig. So the main line has a loop in it where the feeder cage sits, and that feeder cage travels along that loop, is at least my understanding. When you pull in the direction, do you reel at the same time? Oh, so you're talking about using a bolo rod or a match rod? Yeah, so that's a little different for me. What I've been doing is when a legitimate bite happens, I like pull my rod down to the side, not that far, but like let's say I'm looking at the float right there. I pull it to the side and then I start reeling down to the side. If that makes sense, like this. I don't know that we can say that the best rig for bottom fishing is loop rig. I mean, I use loop rig a lot. Some people really prefer inline rig. Some people do paternoster or basic bottom. I mean, it can be like for different situations, different ones are better, but I think some of that is also just personal preference. Sophie likes paternoster. Dean's having a lot of success with inline. That's a nice bite. As long as it's not a char. Yeah. That's the big thing. Where do you have your points? If you have 3 points in one of the rigs, it's probably best to use that rig in most situations. So that one looks more stable. That one's jerking a lot, so I'm going to get this one first. Nice. I love it. Oh, 2 in a row. Maybe that'll be 3 in a row. This is such a good time for fishing this time of day. You have 3 in patter and 1 in classic hair. What about pop-up, Sophie? I don't really have anything to gauge this today's success on since I put 3 points in inline. You've managed to get 440,000 XP. That's awesome. Oof. Beautiful. Ooh, I'm going to struggle with how to say your name. Alit Talkin. I went with inline 3. Yeah, so what would I do if I had the ability to just like to unring the bell with bottom points? Would I still put 3 in all 3 of these? I mean, this is definitely a place where I could get some points back, right? I've got 3 in inline, 3 in loop, and 3 in bottom. I would keep 3 in bottom. My only question is, would I keep 3 in inline? I could really use the points now with all of the spin fishing stuff. I don't know. I do so much bottom fishing though. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't have any plans of necessarily going to Balaya anytime soon unless, you know, I see or hear something that really intrigues me about it and want to go test something. You have none in pop-up? Gotcha. Yeah, inline, loop, I mean, they all work great. Apparently I didn't do well with your name. Firezoo says show spin skills. You probably can't see some of them, right? I think I'm going to using the Onega Belmore rod series. What kind of wait, Big Drock's here? Oh, there's Big Drock. Hey, Big Drock. You said don't lie. We all love Balaya. I got you. How you doing, Big Drock? Welcome. I'm not familiar with those. The Onegas, like, yeah, I'm not. I'd have to look. I'd have to look in the store. When you hit level 30 to 39, do you get 3 points? Yes, you do. I didn't do pop-up rig either. Oh, you tried hinge stiff pop-up. I mean, as long as you have one rig that you're using for sinking boilies and one rig that you're using for pop-up, and then if you have the points for it to put points in those, to me, like, makes sense, you know? It's catfish time. Yeah, I just redid, obviously, FireZoo, I just redid spin points when the update came out and they got reset. I still haven't put 3 points in just because I'm still sort of processing all the changes that have happened. And I just don't have enough points to kind of put everywhere I want to, so I'm kind of waiting to figure out where do I want to prioritize at this point. I was just talking about Big Drock and Big Worm. Two of my faves. Yeah, those graylings are awesome, Sophie. If you are into spin fishing and Balaya is hot at low level, there's no doubt it's a good place to go. It's just not, it's never been like my favorite thing to do. I can handle standing on the shore spin fishing for about one in-game day, and then I got it. Now, if I can bottom fish at the same time, that's okay. Trimitas, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Do we just want to drift again? I mean, it worked okay. We had the trophy burbot, so that was nice. We really only had one marker cat, though, didn't we? It's not too often that the burbot, at least for me, it's not too often that the burbot are easy to target at Belaya. You have 2 rods out for the sterlet and spin for the grays. Yeah, that's cool. That's a good combination. Just got a trophy eyed. Very nice. Yeah, the eyed are definitely active right now. If you're talking about here. It always takes me a minute to figure this out when we switch. All right, I think I'm going to switch this one to Texas. I don't know if I'm missing something, but it seems like so many people are liking the Texas rig with... Let's see, what were we using? Red, right? Was it red or blue? I think it was red. Oh, that's awesome, Glock. Which one is it? The only problem with Belaya is you fight a fish with the oil rod. It's just too... Yeah, it was definitely a timing last time. Yes, chimpanzee, you can. You're not going to have the same bite rate that you might if you're using wacky. But you're going to catch some nice fish doing that. Even like the Xander, Volga Xander and stuff. Jock, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. It's good to have all you here. Yeah, you can troll spinner baits there. Really anything. I mean, sorry, drift. Really anything, but the bite rate from wacky is just insane when you're drifting wacky there. It's awesome. And it's just fun. Such a variety of things that you'll see. Does that have a fish on? Like it has to, right? Yeah. Hopefully this is a little cat or something. I don't know. Oh, it's a river mussel. So this will be interesting to see, like, do we do better on the Texas or the regular jigging setup for cats or burbot? Hello. Let's see if we can handle it a little better this time. All right, so when it's taking line, if you allow it to take line where you're between the first 2 lines, I think you do a lot less damage to your reel. Does that make sense? So like if it's taking line and it's in the red like that, you're doing a lot more damage. If it's taking line and it's down between the 2 lines, then you are you're in a lot better shape. Let's see if we can muscle this guy in real quick, or if this is going to be a drawn out affair. The nice thing about this black box is we have the line counter on there. It's kind of fun. I don't know if we're just going to be able to pop him right in here, or if he's going to, it might be a little awkward. Let's see. Almost need to turn the motor off. Alright, I'm going to turn the motor off for a second and see if we can... Oh, it's my energy. One thing that's a problem is my energy. Yeah, that's a good question, Relicade. I don't know. Hey, look at that timing. For a black box and 9.8 line, it's a decent little timing. I do not know, really. I mean, I just try to what am I trying to say? I just try not to like let the line burn out at a high rate when it's in the red like that. I mean, anything we can do, especially with these high-end expensive reels, anything we can do to minimize the speed in which it's taking damage is a good thing, right? And this week I've had to do a lot of repairs. Spent a good bit of silver on repairs, so it's kind of fresh on my mind right now. There something goes. Alright, this is the jigging setup. And once again, I would say this is a... This is a timing again, huh? Well, I'm not hitting as many catfish as I have in the past doing this. Okay. Take it. Now this is a little bigger setup. We've got a 22.5 kilo fluorocarbon leader. So this should be a little larger fish than that last one. That we're going to have to wear out. You're saving up for the new Super Duties? I really want to know how those perform dynamic. How big are the reel, the spools? Do those have some nice spools on them? The larger ones? Because that might be like a way to try out the conventional reels without like completely spending tons of silver. The thing you have to be careful though when you're doing this is you've got to really be on top of the tension. It's a good way to let the fish go slack and pop off the hook as well. They have bigger, yeah, I know they have bigger. I need to look at the numbers again to see. Because they're not that strong. I mean, it just depends on what you're going to be fishing for with them. Those conventional reels are supposed to be really good for trolling, correct? Isn't that kind of the thing with those? Or am I wrong on that? I do want to just try one at some point. Go ahead and bite the bullet and get one of them, even if it's not like saving for the real pricey ones. See how it's like the line will just go slack so fast the moment the fish turns and you're trolling towards it. Yeah, no, that's another thing that'd be fun to play with. If y'all don't know that the way to change your to switch between the two is control space at the same time. I'll have to look at that gravy. I haven't looked at those. I mean, the black box, gosh, I don't know. I mean, I love my black box, especially like at Quarry, but I had no idea I was that close to max. That is totally my fault. Good grief. All right, just put the 19 on there for now. What's the test on here? Yeah, we're fine. All right, that's twice in a row I've done that. All right, 236. Oh, that would be interesting to try out the new wobblers at Corey or Volkov. I mean, some of them are really big, right? But yeah, it'd be interesting to try. Yeah, there's a fair amount of snapping leaders, getting spooled. Is it worth fishing for Vendus? I mean, I don't know. I've never targeted Vendus, but you catch a lot of them if you're trying to catch char and other stuff like that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to target. I haven't ever targeted it myself. So I don't know. Maybe there's more cats further up towards the 17-meter hole now. A couple days ago, I felt like jigging and Texas jig step through this 11-meter hole was producing a lot of cats, but we're just hooking into the monster timing right now. Let's get down the river just a little bit real quick. Yes, you do catch a lot of them with mayfly and quarry, but typically that's because you're trying to catch char and you end up catching Vendus some. Do you know what I mean? I hate that happened. I don't total mental block there. In my mind, my friction brake was like at 25. But apparently it was at 28 or 29 and went up and it just snapped it. These Nelma, it'll be interesting to see what these Nelma are worth. This Linux will be decent. Catfish is always nice. That Amul will be okay. Muxon. The Graylings. I think we've done okay. We've done okay. Trolling here is a pretty good way to fill up your net. 2 brown trout, 5,400. 540, I mean. Oof. Oh, yeah, we got it. Just barely, though. And we'll have to do comparisons. The order is probably better, but both of them are much bigger than that. I don't know. We'll check. Oh, both of them have to be over 500 grams. Okay. I think we're still okay, but yeah. Oh, is that right, Crimson? That's really nice. Please be a catfish. We just need a decent catfish to add to our net. That would just really top us off nicely. Yeah, thank you. If you can get a few like 2-kilogram catfish, that's where you really start to... All right. It's so hard to get jig step when you're drifting. We're at 92 fish. Some of them markers. A moor cat on that handmade lure. Nice. Zum, thanks for the follow. Can I get off here? I don't think we had any of those. Just one of those. That's a somewhat doable order with the float fishing. Let me just check these brown trout real quick. All right, so it's only 25 silver, and the order was for 61 silver. So there's 61 plus 483. So Burbot and then Nelma and then Linnock. Okay. So this is... Let's see how this float spot feels. I don't know if I've done this on stream yet, so I'll at least show you this for a minute. I was thinking about going and just quickly doing a little bit of spin fishing over at the creek before we leave here. But let me figure out where my spot is. Wait. I think it's further down. I haven't done this since not yesterday, but the day before, so we'll see if it's okay. This is a pretty good way to make, if you're trying to level up float fishing, I don't know, 150, 200 silver a day, like during the daytime, and then you can fish for cats at night. As long as they're still pretty active here. Of course, you could do this with Match or Bolo if you wanted. And once you unlock sandwich bait, it probably gets a lot better. All right, we've got size 6 hook, caddisfly. We're still at 1.2 meter depth. Everything's about right. Let's just see if we can get a bite here. So try to pull up and to the side. And once you start pulling, don't stop. But what we're really looking for here are the whitefish. Occasionally other stuff, but mostly whitefish. I'm using size 6 dynamic. This is not that different than the fish you'll catch down at the end of the river if you're float fishing out of the boat. I actually think the size might be a little larger down here, the size of the fish, but the bite rate's better down there. Ooh, is that what you've been using, Glock? Thank you, sir. Are you meaning for me to keep that? Do you have extra? Ugh. You don't want to mess up bites down here because it's usually a valuable fish. Oh, thank you, Glock. I appreciate it. Let's try not going out too, like a little less distance cast here. Let's see if we get a little more frequency there. There are these little fish here. Which ones is it? There's something small that kind of nibbles. And so sometimes when you see the float go down, but then if you wait long enough, it sort of slides back up. Like, yeah, this might be one. No, okay, I got it. But yeah, this is something small. Yeah, I think it's the little pellets. There's something that does these like fake bites here. The whitefish, the broad whitefish, it's usually a solid bite. It's a lot easier to nail those bites than it is the little pellets and stuff. Are you talking to me, Copycat? I don't think I've ever caught a grayling out of this spot. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I haven't seen a grayling here. At least not on this hook and bait. Is that right? You've caught him standing here? Huh. Interesting. I don't think I've seen grayling here. That would be amazing though if you were able to work grayling into the rotation here. Oh, and flies? So you're catching grayling and char, like Arctic char? What size hook are you using? That's interesting. Every once in a while I like to throw stonefly larva, but that's an even slower bite rate. I can't wait till I unlock sandwich bait. I think all this will get even better having double the bait in. You put size 1 hooks on that lure? Okay. NYKO. Hello. Sandwich bait is where once you get to 80% float fishing, you're able to load up 2 baits on 1 hook. And it seems to attract the fish even better. So you can put a second bait here. It seems to attract the fish even more quickly. If you look at telescopic records, for a lot of fish species, the largest fish are often with sandwich bait. Yeah, it's probably just a little slow right now. To make the silver, you really want, like, out of 3 casts, you want to catch 2 fish, if that makes sense. And that doesn't look like that's my experience right now. Yeah, no, you want it to either be the same bait or 2 baits that are complementary. So for a lot of these whitefish and stuff, what people are using is, I mean, there's a lot of things people are using, but one example of that would be 1 caddisfly and 1 mayfly larva. So they have the 2 of those on together, and it seems to work really well. All right, so we're going to use our light rod. So let's take these spikers off. So we can switch between it. And we'll start with the blue one. Alright, I think this will probably be the last thing we do before we go maybe do some carp fishing. But I want to go see how the stream's doing. Yeah, that'd be cool, Relicade. Especially now that we have the trophy drum. It'd be nice to It'd be nice to have that extra slot. Oh man, for so long playing this game though, we only had the 3 slots, and what was it? I think if you hit 4, it said you have nothing attached to this slot, but there wasn't a way to attach anything to it yet. So you knew that more slots were coming, but you couldn't get them yet, or you couldn't do anything with them. So it's nice that we have 5 now, but finally dug up enough worms to start cutting up fish pieces. Nice. Is it worth it to start doing that? I mean, you only have to do it once, and you're going to get really ahead on harvesting baits by going ahead and starting to get the points. You can also, especially once you get a little bit upgraded gear, you can start targeting some interesting fish at times with the fish pieces. So I guess it's worth doing it, but you're on an interesting path. I don't think it's not very often that someone is disciplined enough to not upgrade their gear and yet to get as high as you have on harvesting baits. So that's pretty cool. Starter feeder rod. So you don't even have, do you have Lacertes at least in terms of your reels? Like if you don't have Lacertes yet, I would probably at least do that. I haven't noticed that, Gravy, but I heard someone on the forums or somewhere said something like, hey, what happened to the canoe? I didn't even think about that. All right, let's see if we can catch some interesting fish out of the stream real quick, and then we'll probably go get set up for some carp fishing. It's amazing how much experience you get for a, you know, like 300-gram salmon or whatever that was, non-marker salmon. It's just pretty crazy. You should lower the marker status. What's up, Wrangler? Yeah, so definitely switch around when you're trying spots like this. See what's working today, lure-wise. Huh. With this current, I think I'm going to go down to like 20 retrieval speed. Slow it down just a little bit. Your dog just woke up on you to wake you up. Wow. That's much cooler than an alarm, Wrangler. Are you talking to me? Try the deep holes with... Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. Living the dream. 130 pounds? Wow. Oh, you're talking to Big Daddy? Okay. Sorry, it's hard for me to keep up with the in-game chat sometimes. Got a little overcast weather, usually good. I think we need to switch lures again though. I've been liking the 2 lately. Several casts in a row without a fish. Let's do retrieval speed again. That looks like another Linux, right? Oh, pink salmon. Nice. Hmm. Well, that one float spot off the shore that I just fished was, yeah, it didn't feel quite as active. Third trophy. So that pink salmon we just caught was the exact same, or just pretty much the same XP as this trophy Cisco. Thanks, Angelic. It doesn't always go well. This is the 2, Spiker 002. This has been good for me lately, even trolling with it and casting with it. If you're looking for something other than the blue one or the red or orange one to try. I feel like this does pretty well with the salmon and the Linux. This particular spiker. Oh, no worries, Tuckerberry. Catch those fish. Little Lacerti. Okay, so you're talking, when you say the starter feeder, you're talking about you have 3 of the starter kits. And that makes me feel much better. I thought you literally meant, do you see that fish that's chasing it, guys? Holy cow. Spiker 18. I'll try it. Yeah, so if you have 3 of those, then yeah, I would say save up for the knife, and then you're set. You're leveling up your harvesting baits, and you can start saving aggressively for your first big upgrade. I like that strategy. Is that right? That's so cool. Oh, that's a crazy size fish for UL. Ah, that's my fault. I didn't close the reel. Ooh, nice pike, Lee. Was that using a telescopic rod on bait fish, live bait? Let's try that orange one. That's crazy, Firezoo. Good job. Yeah, I bet that was a crazy fight. No thanks. 25 kilo Timon on a UL? I think I'll pass on that. Oh, you caught that on a white mouse. Nice, Lee. There's a grayling, right? Look at those fins, though. Have you tried messing with your hook sizes, Angelic? Like going with like a large 4 or something? Try to avoid the bigger ones? I mean, it won't work 100%, but it might work some. There's another one. So it's like grayling time or something. Nice markings. The black spinner? Like handmade or what? Mohawk, yeah. He's beta testing the saltwater location. I like that copy. I could see that especially like in the evening before dark using that black spinner. This is the black spiker. And then there's also the black handmade one or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I guess sometimes that's just gonna happen, right, Angelic? That's awesome, Firezoo. That is awesome. Looks like another mohawk to me. It's like they are suddenly coming out. I guess the time of day or something. A little heavier. Cast at a country mile. Might be a little big for this spot. I don't know. "48 minutes trolling 200. That's awesome, Glock. Wow. That's great. Angelic. I'm trying to think what else I haven't tried here that might be worth trying. I mean, of course the Achilles are going to work. I bet you had to take a break from those crucian gibbles for a while, didn't you? Nice. Oh, that's not bad. It's not bad. It's a little slow, but it's Vendus after all, right? Did you have any char or anything else mixed in? Or just like Vendus and rough and stuff? James Wadius, good night. Another nice Cisco. 2 kilo lake trout, some graylings, and a 2 kilo ide. Okay. Oh, I gotcha. Turning the game off, not the stream. Yeah, I think 35.58, which is what, like a 10-meter clip maybe, Relicade? Is that right? That has supposedly been pretty decent for bream at Oldberg. It's an unusual bream spot. It's like not the typical kind of hole situation, but it'd be good if you wanted to float fish for bream, though. It'd be interesting. Okay, so you're doing pretty good there, huh? Yeah, I enjoy making those. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be fun whenever we start the next one. I don't know when that'll be, but there's so many changes now to reels, especially. It's going to be an interesting experiment to sort of see what that looks like now. What's up, Ivan? Yeah, I got my second and third trophy since we started streaming. So I've had 3 total on this map. I wonder if it's if there's any of the ones I've caught are on the card. Okay, so the broad whitefish was on the card, and the Cisco was on the card. The burbot trophy I got wasn't on the card, and that was on the nasty worm while drifting. And the Cisco was right here in this spot, and the burbot was on a jigging rig that I was drifting. That's how you got into the game, stumbled across last leveling series and followed it. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Same, it got me sucked into the game as well. That's awesome. Well, I'm glad that it was fun enough to watch that you decided to try the game yourself. It's definitely a fun fishing game. It is a very intimidating experience for a new player. I almost didn't... From the very first time I tried the game to the second time I tried the game, which was like just a day or two later, I almost bounced off pretty quick because there was enough that I didn't understand that it was just intimidating. And it's sort of slow in the beginning, especially if you're not plugged into any kind of resources or community or whatever. It's just kind of like, what am I doing? Why am I not catching fish? Can be a little tough. There's a lot more resources now, thankfully. A lot more active communities than when I started playing. What's up, Bootna? No worries, glad you made it. Yeah, I just want to find a big juicy linnock. I'm not sure if we're more likely to see one up here or actually down like in the big river trolling and casting down there. Just not sure. I've definitely had bigger ones trolling than but you never know. Absolutely, Big Drock. There's so much I don't know. Anytime I watch someone else streaming or talk to someone who's been playing for a long time, I realize that there's like all kinds of stuff that I'm doing less efficiently than I could be. But the most important thing is just as long as we're having fun. I mean, I don't know. You're not gonna have to play for a full month for a 14 kilo reel, but I do know what you mean, Angelic. It is a grindy game. You either like are into the grind or you're not, for sure. I did not intend to stand here for this whole day doing this, but it's actually been pretty fun. And we're in that spot now where hopefully the bites will be a little more consistent with the time we're in for the next like in-game hour, hopefully. Knee high, I bet. Yeah. Well, the nice thing about getting premium is if this becomes like the main game you play, and if you're in the habit of purchasing lots of new games before you start playing this game, you're probably still spending less than you used to. And it's a nice way to support the development of the game. What gets dangerous is like once you cross that line and start thinking about spending money on gold, I think that's where it can become a problem. And you've got to be really careful. It's going well, Bootna. How are you doing? I'm not sure where you cast at 35.58. I mean, it's a short clip, 10-meter clip. I don't know if it's just like straight out from the spot or what. Oh, that's awesome. Wacky is so much fun. For someone like me who's not like super into spin fishing, I mean, I enjoy it from time to time, but Wacky is sort of like an equalizer. I don't know if Jessica Tim's still here, but I think she had some experience, and Lee has too, I guess, catching pike and stuff on those mice. I think they were saying steady retrieval, but slow. I don't know specifically what speed, but was there an entrance to this on the back side, I guess, probably? Oh, that's awesome, Dean. I wonder if ooh, that's a fun sterlet order. Holy cow. What if it's almost 1,000 silver, but you need a really big sterlet? I wonder if leeches ended up working out for catfish. I don't think Worminator... was Worminator still here? What am I doing? Wow. That was a quick 138 silver. I mean, I like spin fishing on the bank over there and in other spots. Because I don't do a lot of spin fishing, I haven't fished a lot at Belaya or whatever, like, I don't feel like I make as much silver doing that, but this wasn't bad. I mean, that trophy Cisco helps. It just takes a couple of nice graylings or Linux or whatever, and it definitely will pop it up there a little bit. Oh, is that right? Leeches hook sturgeons? Okay. All right. Just a heads up, this may take me a few minutes. I'm resetting up my carp setups here for the first time since doing a lot of repairs and since taking the Vinga out of rotation. Three nice rods though. I really like that. I love the way the Avalon looks. All right, I need to find something here. A good carp spot at Old Berg. Yeah, people have been fishing for carp at Old Berg. I'm not sure where. Does anybody know where the carp spot at Old Berg is right now? Is it down in the pond maybe? In the boot area? So one thing I wanted to look up was the mega sheet that shows the reels. So the Megara's max drag is 72 kilos. Dang. So I just sort of need to decide, like, Dean says anywhere near Lily's I've been catching loads. Okay, so they're kind of all over the place right now. Oh, is that right? So that bream spot's not doing too well for you? All right, so what size line? Okay, so we're gonna go Megara, and then we're gonna go Tagara, and then we're gonna go Megara. And so the line we already have, if we're going to do mono, which I do want to do mono. So I tend to have like the far left line or far left rig if I'm ever going to do something experimental like really big boilies or a setup that's going to be a slower bite rate but catch bigger fish. I tend to do it on my far left line. So I'm kind of thinking about going like 36.4 mono. That's plenty of strength for almost any carp, really, I think. We might have to let them run a little bit if it's a big old leather or something, but... And then go... $32 kilo for the next two. Around the tip of the boot, you were getting more black at I8. Interesting. Well, so the fluorocarbon line, angelic grim, is also the most frail. Like, you're going to get a lot more. The performance is different, right? So, like with carp fishing at amber, I don't need fluorocarbon line nor leaders. Their bite rate is not affected. Why do heavy over ultra? Well, I mean, this is just the line that I have in my inventory. If I go and purchase line, then yeah, I would look at that. I mean, if you look at ultra, it's 0.7 millimeters for 32.8 or 0.62 for 32. Yes, I think that's correct. Scleros. Okay, so let's try 36 there. And that means, let's see, let's put the 90. And so the good thing about using this line is we already have leaders for now. I do want to make new leaders, and I might purchase new line before too much longer, but... and we're going to definitely start off with the typical... size 1 carp hooks. Oh, you know what though? There's no putting all this on there. Okay, I think we're going to be classic pop-up on all 3. Oops, wrong one. So we're using braided carp hook, 35 centimeters, and we want to go with these, the S1s. And we'll probably be double pop-up boilie on this one. All right, so there's one carp rod set up. And that's our big boy one. A little bit bigger boy one. And then the Tagara, we want mono again. I guess we need to see how much line we're going to have on these. All right, so we'll go with the... How does the brown look? First of all, that doesn't look like that much line, does it? 167 meters. That's got 160 meters. Yes, you're fine using braided line. It just does a little bit more damage to your reels, but you're less likely to get spooled. I am counting on the fact that with Megaras and Tagaras, we're not going to get spooled, but, you know, if we hook into like a really huge... There's no guarantees, you know? Oh, braided leader. Yes, braided leaders. Well, these are specifically designed for carp fishing, and they seem to work great. At least at amber. What you going to go for now? I'm going to go for carp wrangler. I'm going to go do some experimentation at amber. Use braided on your spinning rod? Yeah. What's up, Coach Hero? Welcome back. Yeah, that's definitely where you get into the decision making is. So we've got 36. sorry, 32, and it's 0.62 millimeters. I'm just gonna try it, you know, like if it ends up being, if it starts to feel like we're in danger of getting spooled. It's been a long time since I've been spooled by a carp. I think we've got enough power here that that's probably not going to happen. I need to throw this one away. It's too spent. We're definitely going to lose some power if we use that one. And I don't know. We probably do 2 pop-ups here and then maybe pop-up and corn on this one. All right, so that leaves a another 32 kilo for this one. We need to replace the lead cores as well. This one's in good enough shape. And this is where I'm thinking we might try boiling corn to try to increase the what line is good for spinning. I always use braid for spinning teleton, and then a fluorocarbon leader in most cases. Unless you're going for something like pike, you might want to use a steel leader. Yep, that's right, Yvonne. Yeah, the bigger the diameter of the line, the less you'll be able to fit on the spool. So the thinner the line, the more will go on your spool up to a point. All right, I think we're good. So now let's decide what baits we're using. So there's 2 things I want to check here before we decide that. I want to check that, and I want to check this. So earlier today, Jericho Hollick caught 2 mirror trophies. Now, in the video, it's a short video. There's no indication of what the bite rate was like. The bite rate may have been pretty small, pretty slow. I don't know. That's why I'm not going to do this on all 3. But it was at 64.94. Using the big old Vingas. All right, and so these mirrors were caught on, and hopefully this was today. I mean, this is when the video is posted. It'd be sneaky if this was like before Tunguska came out, but Garlet and Mussels 20 and Old Pal Salmon 20. So these are like baits we used. And I need to get more of both. And then he was doing the spicy salmon dip, which I like. I think that's cool. I know I have some of this, unless I used it all up right before. All right, so I think what I want to do, let's get some dip. I think what I want to try is what I want to try is having this exact setup on 2 rigs. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And then the other one is what? What did we say it was? Oh, salmon. Salmon 20. And then, okay, so let's put the dip on. All right, so we're going to do the exact same thing. Garlic mussels 20, salmon 20, same dip. But on the third one, what I want to try is, since our PVA, it's going to be, we need to do something similar. So we'll do garlic mussels with mussel green. We still have the 20 size boilie. We can put this down on 15 if we... Let's start it with 15 and let's see what sizes we're getting. Sorry, 16. So we've got 16 size boilie and mussel green, but we're going to still go with the Atlantic salmon, spicy salmon dip for consistency. And then we're going to try this PVA. The other thing we can do, though, to play with the bite rate is if we see it's a little slow, we could put either the 16 garlic mussels, or we can put the salmon 14, and that too could increase our bite rate, because we don't want to be standing there all night just looking at rods, you know. 16 was too slow. Okay, we'll see. Remind me, Glock, are you using PVA? Because the other question is, does the PVA, make a difference? All right, I'm just going to do one. I'm just going to do one thing of PVA for now until we see how it works. So I don't really like crushing pop-up boilies, which is what he did. So let me see if there is something, either garlic and mussels or something close enough to garlic that we can just use the sinking. So we can do garlic and herbs or garlic and chili. There's something else to it in there. If we have to, we can just use, or we can do intense garlic. Oh, use the new search bar? I like it. All right, so what would it do if I typed in garlic? Beautiful. What size do we have here? So we could just do some 18. Crush up some 18. I think I like that better. I think I like that better than crushing up pop-up boilies. All right. Beautiful. Good job with the search bar. Oh, it's awesome. Okay, so now we've got our garlic 18. So let's see if we have everything else. What are we going to call this? We'll call it garlic mirror for now. All right, so we want those boilies we just crushed up. Mussel feed pellets 6. Why do I have a feeling that we have some of those? Yep, a couple of them. Mussel feed pellets 8. This is looking very familiar. We've made this mix before. Salmon and tuna feed pellets 6. Now I may not have those. Budokai, thanks for the follow. Wait, what did I say? Salmon and tuna 6. We do have it. We've got plenty of them. And then the good old mussel sauce. Yeah, I mean, this is not a new PVA, right? We have definitely made this before. So the only thing I'm doing different here is with the garlic 18. Do I believe in using sinking boilies for crushing boilies enough to go against the PVA recipe? I think I do. All right. Skilleros, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. All right, and we're going to go... Okay, that's the middle one, right? God, I haven't used the middle one in ages. That means we're going to make less of it, right? We'll make 30 pieces instead of... Oof. Okay. We'll try it. Okay. I think we're ready to give this a try. Thank y'all for being patient. Strangely enough, this is part of what I love about carp fishing, is setting up for it. Getting a game plan, thinking through it, and then going for it, you know? This is my first time to amber since, I think we're good to go though. This is my first time to amber since Tunguska came out. All right, let me catch up on the chat here. So y'all were talking about information about how much spool can get on reels and all that. Yeah, once you get your mind wrapped around it, it makes sense. But it is definitely something that takes a little bit of time to figure out if you haven't seen like rod setups like they do it in this game. You wish there was an easy way to level up ground bait. Actually, once you get on a decent rotation of making some silver, ground bait's one of the easier things to level up. It still costs some money, but it's not too bad. Crisis, I'm using a Lagoon 3000 or Proton 6000. You can use feed from Nebula for cheap Skillerios. What rods? You're using an Naga rods, Belmore, SPF. Oh, I can look at that. I'll look at that in the store before we head out. There is a... I haven't done this myself. And y'all may know about this, but let's see, where's the bait harvesting thing? Does anybody have that handy, the whole fastest way to level up ground bait? There's that thing that we've been copying and pasting. I bet one of you have it. If you do, if you could post it. If not, I'll keep looking for it. All right. Isn't there a new store here? I haven't seen the new store yet. Easy common order. That's nice. It's in my Discord? All right, I'll try to pull it up. Does anybody know where the new, oh, here it is. Oh, so you can also, can I return anything? You can also fix stuff here. I like y'all posting the pictures of the real fish y'all have caught. That's awesome. All right, so I was tracking the price comparisons, but I don't guess any of the things that I was tracking would be from this store. That's one mistake I made. I should have included one of the Zyman things to see how this store compares to prices. So this has just Zyman things in it, right? Huh. It's pretty cool. I'll have to look at that a little more closely sometime. This is the only conventional reel they have. It's very similar to like what, the black box kind of deal, but it's a conventional. Yeah, I guess that's still the same after the update. So I was doing a comparison. So the first thing we did was the new Lacerti 2 at Mosquito and Winding is $98.50. And here it is $101.46. So this is still more expensive. And just to make sure, the old Steelhead is $4,710 at Mosquito, and it's $48.52 here. So definitely more expensive. Is there a grocery store here? Where is it up top? I don't think I've ever been to the grocery store here. Salty McSalty. Thanks for the raid. Hope y'all are doing well. Hope you had a good stream, Salty. Behind the church. I'm embarrassed to say I don't know where the church is. Oh, thank you. Cool. All right, so one last comparison at Mosquito and Winding. A loaf of bread is 0.41 silver. At Tunguska, it's 0.58, and at Amber, it's 0.54. So actually, groceries at Amber are slightly cheaper than Tunguska, but not as cheap as Winding and Mosquito. And unless something's changed, it's going to be even cheaper at Old Berg. Absolutely. Thanks again, Salty. I appreciate it. So Glock, did you see that video that with the trophy mirrors, or does anybody know what clip he was using? Hey guys. Yeah, that's true, Drock. Only cheaper if you're already there. Is this new? Please tell me that this hasn't always been here and I've never noticed it. Crap. I'll go back. Tell me the rod name again. Oh, it's always been there. I've never seen that before, guys. Never. I mean, 35 clip. Okay, I was gonna say I'll just do 35 clip. I think that's pretty standard for that spot, but okay. So let's go to Onega, and we're looking for the Belmore. Not these. Okay, I guess I could search. MH. Wait, which one? The MH? Okay, so what is this? This is a spinning rod with load capacity of 13 kilos. What reel are you trying to put with this? The length is 2.4 meters, so that's comfortable for any type of fishing, but especially like trolling would be fine. Proton 6000. Yeah, that looks good. I think that looks like a good combo. Oh, is that right, Glock? That's awesome. So you're trolling those, right? Those spider reels, that's why you got those? All right, I've got to look. So I have an app that kind of gives me some insight into how the day is going with work. Hold on. Okay. Not good. All right, so I'm going to have to think about what my exit strategy is going to be here. Hopefully we can get a little bit more fishing in. I think I just passed the spot. Okay. Leave the stream up while I'm gone. Okay, so fair warning at this point. Starting in 30 minutes, I can start getting like early stuff happening for work. I really am not supposed to start for work for an hour and a half, but that's not always, that boundary is not always protected. So I'm going to keep streaming for now. I will probably eventually find sort of a stopping point because I just don't like having to worry about work stuff coming in while I'm trying to enjoy streaming with you all, but I'll keep going for now. And then just, I need to give you a fair warning though. I could sort of suddenly have to say, hey, gotta go, catch you later, but we'll keep going for now. Okay, let's check it out. We're sort of starting at an awkward time here, you know. We don't want to let what the bite ratio of the next in-game, like, let's see, 5 hours or so looks like completely dictate what this spot's going to be like with these baits and stuff. But if we do catch a couple of decent fish in the next 4 or 5 in-game hours, then that's a good sign. How you doing, Razor? You know, I have still, like, we started at Razor tonight. I mean, at Razor. We started at Tunguska, and I was still getting really nice. I mean, I was having a lot of fun fishing there. I've just been missing carp fishing, so that's why I came. And a lot of times at Amber, I feel like you get to a new spot, you throw in that PVA in. Sometimes it feels like there's a little bit of a delay, maybe about 5 minutes or so, and then hopefully the fish will start showing up. But we'll see. Okay, so I will be streaming next on Thursday. It's possible tomorrow I might be able to get a little stream in. It just depends on how work and everything goes tonight. But my plan is for the next stream to be, we should have a nice long stream Thursday afternoon, evening, you know. Okay, no worries, Razor. Okay, so you feel like at least the fishing you're doing, you're seeing a decrease in your silver per hour. All right, so here's our first carp in quite a long time. 1000 XP on a little mirror. One thing to consider, I mean, it's not a huge difference, but remember in this PVA we've got 25 boilies crushed up, and then 3 more additives, which adds a little bit of cost, and of course the base and the attractant, and it's mixed into like the double bags, so it's twice as much PVA in each one. So that does take away a little bit from the profit. So that's why I decided to go with, on 2 of the rigs, I've got the big boy boilies on there, hoping that it won't be too slow. But, you know, also wanting to catch some decent fish to offset the PVA cost. And so one of our other carp rods that are no longer in use will end up becoming maybe like a sturgeon rod. We'll just kind of keep the Vinga set up on that one if we want to use it. You know, I'm not sure about Xander with jigs on Volkov. I think at least back in the day, you know, I used to catch a lot of Xander on spoons casting, but jigging Volkov, you're going to catch some cats as well. It's really nothing, Raging Farm Boy. I mean, it's that new. They've got the system now in Twitch where you can use a certain amount of, you know, that currency or whatever to temporarily use you know, the different channel emoticons or whatever, and you can highlight your messages. I haven't really done anything. I mean, there's other things you can do. I haven't done much with it, to be honest with you. You're tired of bream fishing, going to go back to crucian gibbles? At least they like you. Is severe steak good with... Yes. I mean, last time I did it, it was awesome, Destro. It's been a while, but... Oh, nice. I think it is the same as channel points. I really haven't looked into all that very much. I probably should educate myself on how all that stuff works. Cody, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. If I don't have all the ingredients for a ground bait unlocked, does throwing ground bait with only a couple of ingredients provide some benefit? It can. If you're feeder fishing, though, are you feeder fishing or float fishing? If you're feeder fishing, you're probably better off putting that ground bait into a feeder cage instead of just throwing it. But yes, you can ground bait an area by throwing it, and as long as you've got some ingredients that are attracting the fish, you probably will help to some degree. That's how it always is, Arena. You set up one rod for carp, and the carp are going to go on your other two. Yeah, and if you have it in the feeder, you probably don't also need to throw it. At least not very much. No. You can make up your own combinations, and you can use some of the ingredients, even if you can't use all of them. You're just trying to be careful not to use something that's going to repel the fish, obviously. So as close as you can get. Keep it simple. I mean, I would at least start off by keeping it very simple. I'm not sure about the big fish raiser. Well, actually, I was catching a lot of timing on my jigging and Texas rig setups, but for the small fish, the whitefish, the graylings, all the what are they called? All the different whitefish stuff. I was catching loads of them on spinner baits. I don't know if you're using like the big wobblers or if you're doing spinner baits, but spinner baits still seem to be really good. The Nema? Is that what I was... Nelma? Is that what I was trying to remember? I think it's Nelma. Selma? Nelma? Something. Thank you, Sophie. It's the Nelma. Where is 151.20 at Amber? Is that really that good of a spot right now? H8. H8. Oh, is that the 3 meter peg or somewhere near it? That might be the 3 meter peg. Into the 4-5 hole. That's interesting. Victor says Nelma is the best fish in Tunguska, same as Bello and Octuba. 10 silver per kilo. The spinners are still fine, yeah. I was catching taimen at night on jigging setups, drifting jigging. It was weird. All right, so this is not good. When you start seeing the like juveniles come out, and we haven't had a fish in a while. Again, this is the slow part of the day, right? So we're gonna give it a little bit of time. But, you know, it may be that yes, if you're patient enough, you eventually catch a trophy here, but it might be that the bite rate is just too slow. No audio? I'm probably just being really quiet. Can you hear me, Sophie? Snatcher 009 works great on Tunguska. Oh, good to know. It's south of the 4-meter hole in the northeast. Wait, isn't it here? Are you saying it's here? $151, $120. Really? Huh. I thought it was H8. Is it H5? Okay. And you're saying that one's pretty decent? Are you mostly doing like mulberry stuff? Isn't that what like recently's been doing decent is mulberry? How do you mark hotspots? Okay, mulberry. What do you mean, how do I mark hotspots on the map? These aren't hotspots. These are actually pegs that you can fish off of just here at Amber. Those graphics aren't on other maps. This is in Russian down here, so we can't read it, but it's got a legend. I'm assuming that says something about peg. I don't know. And then camp is up here, town. There's other pegs too, but I guess those are like the major numbered pegs. Yeah, that's a different program altogether. That is its own software. And you can find it on the forums, or you can do a Google search for... Let me see if I can remember what the Google search is. I think you search PP4, maybe RF4, PP4 maps or something like that. But you can also find them on the forums. But this is its own software. Unfortunately, it does not have Amber, or of course it doesn't have Tunguska on there. And I'm not sure if it's really getting updated that much anymore. But that's a nice little program. I mean, I wish that it was... Oh, the map is no longer available? Okay, sorry about that. I will quit, I'll quit telling people to Google search for it then. I assume there's still like a Russian or German version of it probably out there, but the English version may not be available anymore. The link is broken, okay. All right, we're the first fish on the, trying to cast at those like little bushes over there, primarily. So these are on the big boilies. We had to wait a while for the bite, although it also just, we had to wait for the like middle of the day session to be over. It's not great, but it's okay. It's a little bigger. Thank you, Dynamic. So is this another common? It is. Hopefully as we get into evening, though, we'll have some decent 5,000 XP, not bad. We will have some decent mirrors coming in. That's the idea with this setup right now, is that we're trying to hit some decent mirrors. So the Sage is only 3.9 meters. Oh, it's the same length as the Avalon, actually. But this one's 3.6 meters. Okay, so they're all close, within 0.3 meters of each other. And there is no doubt that the smaller boilie and artificial corn here is getting a much better bite rate. You can really feel a difference when you have low energy, can't you? Like, this is a small fish, and it had a little hiccup in reeling it in because we didn't have energy. Another like 3 to 4 kilo common, I'm guessing. Maybe a slight bit bigger. Yeah, 4. Hey, we're catching fish. I'm kind of okay with that, you know? I've missed carp fishing. And we have that common order. I don't know how much time was left on it. We may go grab it and take a four-wheeler back out here. It's worth the 10 silver or whatever to get a one-day pass if we can hit the cafe order before it leaves. Oh, that's nice, Curly. That's a fun order to target. One 3 kilo Amur catfish for 95 silver in the cafe right now. $35 silver. What's up, MSK? It's not very healthy sounding, is it? You know, one thing we haven't done yet, and this is probably why we've not had a little better fish. It's my new tambourine. That's right, Glock. You have figured it out. You have figured out RF4. 10 kilos? Yeah, we finally have our energy, so we should start reeling it in now. I mean, part of the reason why I wasn't trying to force it was because we just had low energy and it felt like a dangerous thing to do, but it should be coming in now. It's common. It did indeed, Crisis. It did indeed. Good grief. So we probably should get a second, put a second rig on this bait setup or something similar. I think the bite rate is just too slow on the big boilies, like Glock had said earlier. But we're getting a pretty decent amount of bites on this one, at least in the right time of day. Man, that stinks. Thanks, Glock. Next fish, a trophy. Trophy mirror, in fact. Unless it's on the third line, then I take that prediction back. Only if it's on the first two lines. Trophy perch? Wow, that'd be amazing. What's going on, Dev? Are you far, far away from a tackle store? It's in the game code. Vodka plus drum equals trophy. That's why they come packaged together. Yeah, exactly. Those are some fun kits. Ooh, that's not the right rod. Yes, it is really too bad you can't play the drum on the boat. This really is a trophy perch if it's a trophy. I mean, I still feel like the vodka drum kind of worked, you know? I mean, a 3 kilo ghost carp. It's pretty good. Thanks, Glock. So we've caught all of our fish have been on our Megaras. We've got 0 fish on the Tagara thus far. All right, this is what I did wrong on the last fish, okay? I was reeling even when the fish was swimming against me. I mean, it can still happen occasionally, but it happens a lot more often when you do that. No kidding, CPAS. A scaleless ghost? That's awesome. So it's good to know that these baits at least have a chance of catching a rare species. That's always a plus. Linear. Okay. So we've got some interesting species variety right now going. We know there's mirrors, commons, linears, and then one common carp ghost. And then you had the scaleless common. Oh, cool. Big boilies, huh? What size was it, CPAS? Linears are rare. I don't know, like I had no interest in Death Stranding when it came out on the PS4. I still kind of have no interest in it now that it's out on PC. I don't know why. Ghost of Tsushima comes out this week, at the end of the week, but I'll be out of town, so I'm probably just going to pass on it for now, but I've been looking forward to that game for a long time, so I probably will circle back around to it at some point. It looks like a fun single-player experience for one day down the road somewhere. I know, I really got to start charging people for that, don't I? Especially Kluby. Kluby's always popping up with videos on my streams. Where is Kluby? Not online right now. Wait, where are you, Relly? Are you doing cats right now? Okay, cool. Have you had any decent cats? I kept hooking into Timon. Just one? Was it big enough for the cafe order? Look at CPAS coming in with that 6 kilo scaleless ghost carp. Nice. Yeah, it's up to you, Hubble. I think that might be true, Wrangler. I wasn't getting them in the 11 much. What level are you, Hubble? I mean, I feel like at some point in the, like, if you're going to get premium, the time to do it is like in the mid-20s or so. That's just my opinion, but 21? Yeah, I mean, you're getting there. 12 and 16. It's so interesting that we've had 0 bites on our second line the whole time. Well, in terms of level, premium will help you get there faster. It won't help you make more silver, though. I mean, I guess it could be. I pretty much never have that happen on carp rods here. Even if you catch like a random gibble or crucian or something, it's usually a big one. So it's worth checking, and it also might be worth recasting. It's been in there so long now that, I mean, the duration is 18 hours on this PVA. So it's like we're getting there. First fish on second line. You're not going to make more silver with premium, at least not directly. You're going to make more experience, and it's going to allow your skills to level up faster, which can indirectly lead to possibly making more silver based on what you're unlocking, but your silver is going to be the same. The most valuable part of premium is leveling up your skills faster. Well, at least we caught a fish on it. Maybe now it'll reset with the cast and do something. Oh, how much do you make it amber? Oh, it can vary greatly. And when amber's really hot, I I don't know. As long as it's decent, you're probably making 200 to 300 silver an hour fairly consistently. But you're going to have some peaks that'll go much higher than that. You get a trophy or two or some nice, like, frame-sided. It's going to jump up a lot, but it varies. It varies a lot. It's hard to really answer that. Like, I don't even know what to tell you in terms of an average. But for carp fishing, I mean, it's pretty good, pretty consistent. Yeah, I mean, they may just not be super active. I don't know, Hubble, but when you do get on a good carp spot, whether you have premium or not, that's a good way to get some experience. A bream and a grassy? Really? Out of this spot, huh? Yeah, I was kind of surprised I haven't seen. I mean, I guess the barbel maybe aren't active, but like on my third rod with those artificial corn, a lot of times you'll see some of the smaller species pop in along with the carp, but we've had some really painful digs today. Of course, as right as I dig, this happens. It's not a big fish, it's just no energy, which is where the hook is going to pop out because I don't have the strength to just like turn the head and force it in. Okay. Yeah, we're good. What's up, Gasha? I do not have two black vingas. No, I've got two Magaras and one Tagara. I have one gold vinga that I don't use for carp. Really recommend getting your ground bait at 7% blackgrass carp mix. Potatoes as bait made the difference. Yeah, it makes sense. I would experiment with like large 4 all the way up to large 1 hooks, kind of to see what the sweet spot is. Did Dev ever get the leader he was asking for? Zenith WG hooks size 1. Take a quick bio break. Was it on the was it on the big boilies again, CPAS? We had a bite on the first line, but it has not developed into anything yet. Okay, small. Thanks, Dean. If you're talking about the overall weekly, not your specific region, but the overall Butna, you can get silver for being number one on the weekly. You can also get awards for the overall points for the week or something like that. No. This is a good time to look that up. I actually haven't looked at the forum at all today, now that you mention it. Okay. So that's how we'll know if we ever get a rare trophy or a super trophy that can be named. I like this idea. I like this idea. I mean, I think there should be more motivation to release the named fish. They're not going to stay around. I bet. I mean, the first person's going to name it. Second person might be, oh, that's cool. Third person's going to sell it and get the silver. I absolutely agree with this too. If a named fish is caught and they click keep rather than release, you're prompted with an "Are you sure?" You quite often go into autopilot and press keep rather than release. It'd be a shame one accidentally kept it. I think that is true as well. I think there should be more motivation to keep, or even a specific place where you can turn in a named fish, and that just will automatically release it. So you're still getting silver for it, or whatever, but it releases it back into the water. I don't know. Okay, so it does have an extra pop-up to confirm if you really want to keep it. Also, it has an extra pop-up to confirm if you really want to keep the fish that you can rename the first time you catch it. So it does have the extra pop-ups. That's good. Destro says I would sell it. Well, yeah, but I mean, the issue with the way it's balanced, at least right now, is at low levels. One of the one of the ways, frankly, that you end up making some of your early silver is that cafe orders are for non-markers often. You know. Yeah, no, people are gonna sell them. It's you're saving up for really expensive gear, and that's a ton of silver. You know, that's way more important than getting a little extra experience. But it's such a cool system. I would love to see some real history built up on some of these fish, but yeah, something like that crisis would be awesome. I agree with that too, Shu. I agree with that, but I just think there should be some sort of extra motivation. Even if it was a stat that's tracked, which I don't know for sure that it's not, but even if there was like a way, like I don't know what this blue shield is, but if this was like a symbol and what it meant was like named fish released, like if you had something tracking how many times you had done that, I don't know, something to motivate. Yeah, the fish will get bigger. The history of it will be awesome. I mean, it is so cool. Like, imagine you catch a whatever, a 32 kilo common carp that you can name or that has been named, and then you release it, and someone else catches it a year and a half later, and your name is on the history of that fish. It's so cool.